He's the one who likes all the pretty songs, and he likes to sing along, and he likes to shoot his gun, but he knows not what it means, knows not what it means when I say he's the one who likes all the pretty songs, and he likes to sing along, and he likes to shoot his gun, but he knows not what it means, knows not what it means, and I say yeah. This is from In Bloom, a song by Nirvana from their album Nevermind. Kurt Cobain, the lead singer of Nirvana, asked in an interview, why in the hell do journalists insist on coming up with second-rate evaluation on my lyrics when 90% of the time they've transcribed the lyrics incorrectly? Kurt Cobain was, as you know, one of the most important musicians of the 20th century. His music was popular and still is. He wrote the majority of songs and the lyrics by Nirvana. But does that necessarily mean that he knew the full extensive meaning of his lyrics? How can
God, love, freedom, and peace.
There was a small mix-up. Is it okay if we start again?
Yeah. Yes.
It's okay with you, Daniel, with the lights? Okay. Sorry about this. This is some mix-up. We didn't have time to practice so much today. I will start. If it's okay. He's the one who likes all the pretty songs, and he likes to sing along, and he likes to shoot his gun, but he knows not what it means, knows not what it means, and I say, he's the one who likes all the pretty songs, and he likes to sing along, and he likes to shoot his gun, but he knows not what it means, knows not what it means, and I say, yeah. This is from In Bloom, a song by Nirvana from their album Nevermind. Kurt Cobain, the lead singer of Nirvana, asked in an interview, why in the hell do journalists insist on coming up with a second-rate evaluation on my lyrics when 90% of the time they've transcribed the lyrics incorrectly? Kurt Cobain was, as you know, one of the most important musicians of the 20th century. His music was popular and still is. He wrote the majority of songs and the lyrics by Nirvana. But does that necessarily mean that he knew the full extensive meanings of his lyrics? How can he claim to know what he's doing? How can anyone in his position claim they know exactly what they're doing? He might have a goal, something that he wants to achieve or comment on with his songs, but to claim that he knows the correct way to transcribe his lyrics that 10% of journalists understand is just borderline arrogant. Words like God, love, and peace, and freedom, people use these words all the time. It doesn't mean that they agree with their meaning. It doesn't mean they've thought through what they mean when they use them. Even if they have, they don't know what the future will hold and how the words might be put in a new context. Yeah, there was a mix-up there again. Henrik, actually, he was supposed to come up.
What?
When I'm saying these words, God, love, peace, and freedom, that's the moment you came up the wrong time before, also. Yeah. So that's actually the second time we mix it up. So I'm not sure. I think we can't. I think we're not going to go for the third time because it's, I think, kind of ridiculous. But it's kind of bad because we had prepared some. I prepared a bit longer performance with a bit more things going on, but we didn't really have time to practice. I had told both to Henrik and Ellen that I needed to come into this space with enough time, and I only had, I think, this afternoon to practice with them. I also requested to have a bit bigger stage. I wanted to be in that black room over there, but the dancers had requested that, and apparently they had the choice of the rooms. Which I think is very disrespectful from you. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do now. Yeah. And I think that there's a lot of mistakes that have happened in this production, actually. It's, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to go into details about it. The pay and the hotel that we talked about. Yeah. There was a different performance I was going to do originally, which if I would have used that bigger space, which I had started to develop it, but because I had this, then I decided not to go for that completely. I could show you a little bit of what that was, what I was going through. If it's okay with you to see, yeah. But I don't have. It's not like I don't have a beginning or end of it or anything like that. It's more like it was about a certain movement that I kind of had been developing, and certain thing to. It has to do with the hip. There's a certain movement of the hip. So I'm going to show you. Can you hear me also? Yeah. But it's not like this is only like something that was like a sketch of something that would have maybe inspired something else if I would have had a bit better space. Maybe used other people as well. We could have gone in many directions. But it was about this. I don't really need. Yeah, okay, I can do it like this. It's about this kind of moving the hip to the side, and then just slowly, and continuing like this, and then going faster and faster like this. Yeah. That was something that I kind of wanted to work with also. Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
I haven't really prepared anything. I'm sorry. I wanted to ask if there's somebody who had any response, but
yeah, I'm not sure whether it was part of the performance or not to mix things up, but I was part of previous performance, like I don't know, like a year ago or something like that. I mean, he was like chosen to be like part of. He was like interacting with some chosen people, and then I actually messed up his performance because it provoked me too much. So it's kind of funny that. your performance got like messed up either on purpose or like not on purpose?
I think also as spectator, as a spectator, I have to see what I saw as a piece of art, and it was very interesting actually. I understand there was some misunderstandings, which was not nice for you, but as a spectator, it was really interesting, because I didn't know, is this, I thought you were a fantastic actor at one point, but of course I thought it was made up, you know? Everything on the stage, whatever happens, is in a stage performance space. So everything is a part of whatever one does is part of the performance. So in this sense, it was quite interesting how going back and forth, the repetition you did, that was really necessary. So there was some really difficult moments, which was interesting to look at, and yeah, I think there's more to say, but I can't. I think I stop now, but it was yeah, it was interesting. And it was interesting that you kept on being on stage for so long. I mean, it was a choice from you to really keep on stage and talking through, explaining. That was also interesting.
I thought the whole point of this show was that it got messed up. We started over and came up on stage.
Well, I really had high hopes for you tonight. We don't know each other, but I think you're pretty good at what you do. And I have to say, this was great. The last part was a bit too much Charlie Chaplin kind of camp, thingy, but the first, including you, excellent work there. It's fantastic. I mean,
Now this is not X Factor, you know.
no, but when I suddenly realized I was watching The Office, but live. No, but seriously, I mean, no, now it all sounds like I'm being slightly sarcastic here. But maybe like just in that last moment when you were doing the whole like dance routine thing, that's when it sort of turned into the camp. And I can do this thing too. It was too obvious then that it was play. The rest was like fantastically ambiguous.
I like the point a lot where people were starting laughing, like when people kind of started to realize that you were just making like a big joke out of this. It felt like, and I felt so relieved. I think this is spot on, and I loved it. Thank you. Making me laugh.
I want to say that I was looking forward to the piece a lot because I imagined that it would be telling me something about Kurt Cobain, which is someone that and in a way, then it did, really. I mean, I thought I enjoyed very much the beginning section about you telling the journalists were analyzing his text, but kind of getting it wrong. And he is someone that has been deified in a way, over the past 20 years, and growing up really has been an icon to me and probably a lot of people. And now it's nice to always to question these people, with time. situation that I could juxtapose on this statement of the journalists being the kind of enemies who didn't understand and he being so important, but you also creating a situation where I felt it was silly. I could see that he could also have been wrong. You know, I don't have to think he's so great, but I can still enjoy him. So that's what I was saying.
I made a very similar, I mean, I felt there was a connection between, like, I was a huge Nirvana fan, and I couldn't let Kurt Cobain go, even though you did during the and I felt there was a big connection about like how he was kind of not happy with the circumstances. Oh, did you say that?
Circumstances.
Yeah, circumstances, and you were indeed. So I made that connection, and that kind of it's. I think. Was that something that you felt as well? I just wanted to like agree. I agree with you, and I also felt that it was a connection, and I like that.
Actually, I also thought in this direction, and I mean, I'm not sure. I want to believe that this is all planned. Maybe you can tell afterwards, maybe it's not interesting also, but I tried to search the connection between the hip movement and the Kurt Cobain being maybe, I don't know, this insecure, unsatisfied person. This is what I see, this is what I get, so I'm not trying to connect to this.
But the performance had nothing to do with Kurt Cobain, did it? That was just like the... Yeah, I know that was the text, but that was more like the little mirage thing going on, so we could actually have this uncomfortable moment on stage, no? Are you saying this was actually...
It has a lot with Kurt Cobain to do. It is questioning the impact of Kurt Cobain at all.
No,
It is questioning that he has become this godlike creature that everybody looks up to, or many of us looks up to. It's questioning the whole thing he's did. I think it's doing very much talking about the impact of Kurt Cobain. You didn't need to say anything more about Kurt Cobain than you did.
there was nothing negative about that. And I just thought he used Kurt Cobain as an excuse to tell this instead. So
He did
like
both. He did both. It's not either or, he did both.
We're in Kurt Cobain like 20-year-old moment, so it's a good thing to bring up, sort of like it will catch the attention to tell something else. Yeah. I think it's a pretty good trick.
But maybe, yes, but maybe then we can close the circle again and say, but still the story he took as an alibi is still also connected to Kurt Cobain.
Sure.
So it's again,
Yeah. Making Kurt Cobain a bit more important than he was. Sure. What do you think, Arne, which actually did the
I didn't catch the last sentence you said.
No,
It was
I
actually
mean,
more-
I'm just wondering what you thought, like this, apparently a lot of people in here have like a little, some sort of relation to Kurt Cobain, and I didn't think it really was dealing with Kurt Cobain.
No, I think actually, Henrik is a bit right. It's both. It's, I mean, of course, I'm using him as a kind of tool for something else, but at the same time, I'm also commenting on something about, I mean, he's a character in the performance as well. So,
I really like the way the lights went on and never came back.
yeah. Yes, we work together to design that.
Yeah.
It's the third time today that people are really appreciating the work.
Yeah, it's actually very nice to work together to sort of meet for this.
Just a short comment. I think it was very interesting at the beginning of this discussion how you affected the audience. I mean, we were all kind of like commenting on it, and I mean, we all were still puzzled, like not knowing, what was reality, what was planned, and I think it was also there was a certain atmosphere here which was a bit more lightened, or a bit more like, we allowed ourselves to be sillier than we normally are. So I think it's a very interesting, social psychological effect you create that your performance. Yeah.
Is this something you have investigated also in other performances, like deceiving people, investigating this quality of failure and
Yeah, definitely. I think, there's many, I'm not going to explain the whole performance as it's about this and this and not this. But I am very interested in the sensitivity of performance art as a visual artist, because it's so sensitive, everything. It's about of course, theater and dances of course as well, but it's about image, sound, time, everything is going on at the same time. And I think most artists are not really trained, mostly come from art schools like me, we're not really trained in performing. It's so most people are it's about the shiver is always a part of it, holding the paper and being shivering. And the restart is actually something that happens, I think, often in performance art. So I'm also trying to just dive into that and see what happens if I just accept that as a factor, as the restart is just part of the piece, and see what happens with that. So that's one aspect of it.
The restart is also an important part of your performance, or the repetition is also an important part of your performance. There's quite some, on that level, some quite parallels between your works.
Yeah, but in this work, your work